Hello, this is Module 5, My Story, for AEP 858 VB, and I'm Evan Manning. The first thing that I wanted to make sure that I isolated was the incorporation from the Siegel and Here article. While reading and going through that, I found the section on interactive slideshow and how that's one of the key ideas and concepts that they offered, which obviously was the same as what we were doing here, to try to show using that interactive slideshow to the best of my abilities. In answering some of the key components, we looked at where is Eisenhower now and where will we be in the future. So first, looking at who we are currently, there were three subsections in the articles that we read that were isolated here. The first was students, wanting to focus on sort of some demographic data there. The total numbers of students with the 915 in 2017, and the overall sort of GPA runs there. I tried to stay away from some of the other information that I was going to utilize in other sections, such as the graduation rates and some SES data. So this was some data that was isolated here. As far as the staff, the EHS staff breakdown was 3 administrators, 52 certified staff, 2 counselors, then 1 full-time nurse who's on site 5 days a week. And of the 47 regular education certified staff members, 35 had master's degrees and 2 had doctorates. As far as community, again, I wanted to stay a little bit away from some things, but I also wanted to incorporate some things we did in Module 3 that was isolated in the rubric. So I went back into some of the census data here and wanted to focus on the zip code population of Goddard being one in which was continually growing, and also looking at how that affects the way in which that you would utilize resources, and the way that you look at how you are doing now, and projecting that into the future. So how do we do business? Again, there were 3 concepts I wanted to focus on here, which was culture, climate, and perception. The culture of our school, I think, is positive, sort of student focused, and good. Sort of a negative there is I think that staff sort of gets disassociated with the students. I think there's sort of a dichotomy there, which would hopefully, as far as culture goes, be more encapsulated, which would be something that we could work on. Climate, I think, is safe for the students. That's definitely a focus of ours in the school board. Equality and fairness also being sort of key concepts there. I do think that the perception is very positive in district. I think it's high perception in comparison to other schools and the high schools. And in area also very high, maybe even higher here than in reality when looking at a few things. And I think something that we could sort of look at other classes is maybe we have a really great school community relations question here for that perception. Where are we now? So this was trying to focus on strengths, improvements, and results. One strength, I think, is the Goddard Education Foundation we have, which utilizes a way to sort of pay back and incorporate more money into our futures through endowment funds and things. This is a big push we've had, which I think looks good for who we are. Also, a big focus on academic excellence at the higher levels, the AP classes, career tech education programs, and things such as that project Lead the Way and the pathways are definitely focuses of our school. A negative potentially is the graduation rate, which again is utilized for Module 3 information, which is that the Kansas average is 95% graduation rate with a 70 to 75% effective rate. But in Goddard, we've had a 5-year graduation average of 90 and the 5-year success rate of 57. So maybe that focus at the highest of levels that we have now is nice, but maybe it's at the expense of sort of that graduation level and drop off, and maybe that's something that could be improved upon in the future. using the current data use from the interview, which was module 2. Again, how we use demographic data now, I think is very focused on the present. And I think that we need to be able to project that data more into the future, which is not something that it felt like we're currently focused on here. Why do we exist? So sort of the mission statement is that Eisenhower High School is committed to equipping each Tiger with academic and personal skills to proudly graduate and confidently face challenges as a contributing member of their community. And where do we want to be? Sort of that future projection. I think that this was sort of two different breakdowns when encapsulating both the text that we read as well as sort of the use of this class. I think there's three main visions that we have, which are technological leadership, academic excellence, so sort of putting that STEM and Project Lead the Way paths in there, and high school mastery. As far as also then incorporating what kind of data can we use that can be measurable to actually show these successes. The one-to-one student technology could be one area for technological leadership along with curriculum advancements. As far as the academic excellence, I think that seeing the program numbers in STEM and Project Lead the Way numbers and paths going up, as well as funding improvements for these, could be good. And then for high school mastery, and sort of going back onto what was already previously talked about in the present, I think that you want those graduation rates up above Kansas averages, which I think is a goal minimally, if not something that can be successful and be a measurable data point for future. So, in conclusion, I'm sort of taking this picture from the text that we read and sort of encapsulating the goal of those first 5 central questions. I think that acknowledging who we are now, how we operate with our norms, and where we want to be, I think is a really good starting point and ending point for the future, and is definitely a way in which I hope that we can continue to compartmentalize and make sort of that vision for the rest of our staff very tangible for them. Thank you.